Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, Butterfly Rain and Michelle. All in the Western Hemisphere, I imagine. I am joining you live here in Mexico in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. You can see the mountains and the clear blue sky. And what you can't see over there is the biggest lake in Mexico. So I live steps from that, and I'm so grateful. Good morning, Lisa, Melanie, Wendy. Earlier morning in Pacific time right now. Let's take a collective breath together as we join in this beautiful sacred space where today we will be pulling cards for weekly spiritual guidance, and then we'll be doing Reiki and Ancestral Clearing at the end of the session, which includes some guidance. So, yes, I am at Lake Chapala. Good morning, Sister Sunshine. So I have already even shuffled some cards, got some cards ready. But before we dive into that, if you're new, please say hello or give an emoji in the chat. Tina, Nancy, welcome. I know most of you quite well. Ooh, there's a bird. I imagine y'all can hear that. So please give me a follow here on Insight Timer. You can click here to follow me. Yeah, so in Mexico we have cupolas, sort of a thing, like on the ceilings with little things on top. So there's a hotel right next to me, and the bird is on top of that. Welcome, Dawn. Nice to see you. Good afternoon. Sending well wishes to Bev, who was here in spirit. You can also join my group here in Insight Timer called Natalie's Healing Circle. And this is a place where we can stay in touch outside of the live streams. I make announcements there and updates. So you can also join that. I don't have a link for that I can pop up. And I will go ahead and share with you. I have my next scheduled live stream coming up on Tuesday in 2 days from now. I'm really excited about this one. It's called Releasing What You Were Never Meant to Carry and Stepping into Your Power. So you can, if you want to attend, RSVP, and I believe you'll get a notification 5 minutes before it starts. And that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And all of my replays are available on my YouTube channel. And this is also being streamed live over there. So you can catch all the replays. And this is being streamed simultaneously. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well. Excuse me. Welcome, J.E. Good morning. Nice to see you. Oh, great butterfly rain. So, yeah, and I'm just a bit of personal news. I'm excited. As you have heard, I've been hard at work creating my first Insight Timer online course called The End of Self-Gaslighting. And it's been a journey of stops and starts, which is how things happen, right? You know, the mind thinks that, oh, I'm just going to straightforwardly do this, and it's going to be, you know, point A to point B, straight line, no halts, no ups, no downs, no mistakes, no setbacks. And as we know, that's not how life works. So I've been on my journey creating, you know, everything I need to record this course at the highest quality and best content. And, you know, you can think about that for your own self of like, when have you endeavored to start a new project or make a move or learn something new or do something out of your comfort zone, and then it just totally wasn't the way you expected or planned. So yeah. And, you know, the good news, it's trial and error. The thing is like with everything I'm doing to create this course, I've not given up. I've not stopped. So that's the difference, right? Then when having a commitment with an end goal in mind, it's like, well, it doesn't matter about the perceived obstacles. It's like, this is happening. So then if there's a problem or an issue, then what's the next step? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I've had to research about, because I'm not going to go to a professional recording studio and record. So I created a recording booth in my home on my spare bed with blankets cocooning me and hooks on the wall, and so I have this blanket booth. So I'm making it happen. And then, you know, then I got software, new software, and I recorded a couple of the episodes, and I noticed this clicking sound, and I'm like, this is not gonna work. You know, plus I'm doing all this editing, you know, which I've done with all my meditations you see here on Insight Timer already. Sometimes I've paid for professional like editing to finish, but I've done a lot of it myself. So I'm doing all this myself, and so I noticed these sounds in the recording and researched it, and it's like this microphone is not good. It's no bueno. So I got to buy a new microphone, and it's professional, you know, and I can use it for my lives. I can use it for any other recording since I'm not going to be going to a studio. So I made that investment, and that's coming today. So it's just step after step after step, right? As Sister Sunshine says, baby steps, which in my work as a spiritual life coach, that's what we focus on. We focus on the internal work, which is, you know, all of the internal experience or reactions or limiting beliefs, thought patterns I might have around whatever it is that I'm coming up against, plus, you know, the external, taking the steps to achieve the goal externally. So thank you, Lisa. And yeah, when we make plans, God laughs. So stay tuned, you know. And then I had a timeline. Oh, I want the course to be like submitted to Insight Timer within a month. Well, God's already laughing at my plans for that, or I'm laughing at my plans, because yeah, it's likely going to be longer than that, and I'm just trusting the process. And I know that I have shared with y'all, and some of you I have sent this to and shared this with you, but I have a really valuable resource called The End of Self-Gaslighting, which is where the inspiration for the course comes from. And it's a 2-page resource that can really help you in your day-to-day life when you notice making yourself wrong, beating yourself up, collapsing into old patterns, not loving yourself in the moment. And so it will really help to bring peace and clarity, as well as loving accountability if that's what's called for. So if you want that, it's a gift, and you can send me a private message and I'll get that to you. So, and yeah, you know, the thing about doing something new is there's all these steps to get it started, and once I get it streamlined, it will go quicker. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and start with Michael Singer, my favorite spiritual teacher for the past few years, who wrote The Untethered Soul. How many of you don't know this book? I know so many of you have read it, know of it. The Untethered Soul. This is his memoir, The Surrender Experiment. This is an amazing memoir. So this is like a spiritual self-help book, which is really great. And this is the memoir. This story of his life is amazing. So, I mean, I'd recommend it, plus his newest book, Living Untethered, which is a follow-up, but maybe like 15 years have passed since these two books, or 10 or 15 years. So if you want to dive into like the teachings, get one of these. If you want to read his memoir, get this, and this will blow your mind. And I like to recommend the memoir because it's a story, and it's a powerful story. So, ooh, great, Dawn, and Melanie doesn't know, or Lisa. So, and those of you that know me know I met Michael Singer last year now. I went to his Temple of the Universe near Gainesville, Florida, which anybody can just go, and he has a spiritual center there. And he autographed my Untethered Soul card deck. So this is a deck of quotes from the Untethered Soul. So if you follow me, you know this is part of what I like to do, is bring his voice into the room, as it were. So listen to what he says for us today. That which is blocked and buried within you forms the root of fear. Fear is caused by blockages in your energy. That which is blocked and buried within you forms the root of fear. Fear is caused by blockages in your energy. So how does that land for you all? Do you agree? Does it resonate? Or are you like, nah, I don't get it, or I don't agree? Share what you think in the comments. Excuse me. And if you know Michael Singer's teachings, if you know me and me talking about and teaching his teachings, you know, this will make sense given, you know, his teaching, and it might just land anyway. Ooh, awesome. So when we have an experience that we don't like, that we push away, that we resist, or an experience that we cling to, we store it energetically inside of us. And that storage of energy creates blockages in our energy system, our chakra system. So what he's saying is that those blockages that we stuff down and create and take on over time create the root of fear. And that really all it is just a blockage in the energy. So I'm sure more will unfold around this message as we continue the spirit messages. So I also drew already from Work Your Light, which is Rebecca Campbell's Oracle deck. And we've seen this card often, the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open. It's happening for you and not to you. So this is a shift in your mindset from fear to love, right? So if there is something you're afraid of or you're resisting what's happening, this card is saying, you're being cracked open for something for your highest and best good to occur. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And I would also add it's happening from you, because our perception creates our reality and creates our experience. So how can you reframe whatever you're afraid of, whatever you're resisting, whatever you're coming up against, instead of saying, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Wow, what if this is happening for me? What if this is happening for me? And maybe you're being cracked open so that something new can emerge. The ever unfolding rose. If you think about a rose and how that bud is so tight and then it slowly opens, so the beautiful fragrance and the beautiful visual experience of the rose can be seen and smelled. I love that, Sister Sunshine. Yeah. Instead of we're peeling the layers of the onion to get further and further into, whatever, the root or the core or our true nature or our awakening, that, we are an ever unfolding rose. Ooh, wow, Kat. Yeah, if you're only an hour from Michael Singer, get on over there. Let us know how it is. It was a transformational, mind-blowing experience for me that I did share about. If anybody wants to hear my full Michael Singer trip experience, I did a live stream and I could send you the link. Yeah, J.E. Some people will have that perception, and you're invited to have whatever perception you want to choose. And the thing is that whatever we give weight to and power to in our thoughts is what we will believe. And we have that choice. We are sovereign beings. So, in my life coaching, I always ask, does this thought bring you peace or stress? And we can choose. And I prefer to focus on having peaceful thoughts, not thoughts that will bring me stress. And it's not right or wrong, good or bad, it just is. So I also drew a Sacred Rebels card, and this is the guidebook that I read from. And, oh, that's okay. The card I drew for today is Receiving. So look at how beautiful just that image is of receiving. And what's coming up about this is this, ever unfolding rose energy. And I love what Sister Sunshine said about the onion. Like, if we're peeling an onion, that's very masculine, meaning it's very like action oriented, where we're like peeling. When we look at this unfolding rose, that's more of a feminine energy, where it's just spontaneously occurring. And this receiving energy feels like that as well, of just, I'm opening. I'm not forcing. I'm not trying and efforting so much. It doesn't mean I'm not taking action. But yeah, being in receiving mode, as Abraham Hicks would say. So I'm going to look at the guidebook here and see what messages want to be shared. So just, hola, Laura, good to see you. So just take in this image and these words and receive. So your first invitation to receive. You are so loved. Your every need is witnessed and responded to by the universe. However, you sometimes forget this. You become swept up in the momentum of habitual consciousness, and you forget to take a moment to stop, breathe, and be. In that moment, you can receive the love of the universe that is receiving you. It will nourish you with contentment and energy. Energy has been going out of you, but there's not enough coming back in. It's time to bring something back in for you, to receive and be received. You're being offered a chance for restoration now, to feel nourished, cared for, and loved. You accept it. You deserve it. From that place of nourishment, you will more effortlessly create, live, and love with greater energy and thriving, pulsing passion. Allow yourself to switch off, step away, close the laptop, switch off the phone, and just be with yourself for a little while. You will return and be more efficient and effective. Rest now, play now, and work later. Forget your worries for a while. Switch off, do something else, let it all go, and it will flow. So breathe into that beautiful energy, and then I invite you to take in what I'm going to speak aloud in this healing process. And take this in and allow this to heal you and claim this for yourself. I release all false guilt and shame about having needs, and all false beliefs about rest being wasteful or unnecessary. I accept healthy, productive, sacred rest and the gifts of happiness that it brings. I understand that rest and activity, balance, feed and nourish each other. There is sacred healing that happens through rest, which is very powerful. I accept and receive this now. Through unconditional love, this is now so. Then I'm going to read this story. So I invite you to just take this in just for a moment. The great French Impressionist painter Monet sat in his garden on a warm afternoon. He was napping lightly on his garden bench, with the sunlight dappling gently through the straw hat resting over his face. It was soft and warm on his closed eyelids. He sighs contentedly. A nosy neighbor poked his head over the fence, keen to know what the brilliant artist was up to now. "Sir, you are resting," the curious neighbor called out. "No," responded Monet, wriggling to get even more comfortable on his reclining garden chair. "I am working." He relaxed further as the mild breeze tickled the hair on his forearms. Monet returned to his garden the next day. Consumed by the urge to translate his feelings onto the canvas, he painted with great energy and focus. He was inspired and the paint flowed. Again, the nosy neighbor poked his head over the fence. He called out, "Sir, you are working." "No," said the artist, barely pausing with his brush. "I am resting." So, how can you bring energy of receiving and rest into your life today? How can you bring the energy of this ever-unfolding rose? How can you release fear when it comes up? Allow yourself to be cracked open. Allow yourself to be molded by, the potter's hands. We are the clay on the wheel. Universe, source, God is the hands of the potter that is shaping us with our experiences. Can we allow life to unfold moment by moment? So, we are going to take just a pause for a moment. I am going to go to the restroom if anybody needs to do that as well. It'll be 1 minute only, so don't go far. And you can go ahead and just settle into this energy, settle in more deeply and fully. We're going to pull some light seers, tarot cards for further, deeper clarification on today's messages. And then we will do the Reiki and Ancestral Clearing. So I will be right back. And you can see the beautiful view. Can y'all hear the horse clip-clopping on the cobblestones? Isn't that amazing? I love it. I never get tired of hearing that. So, did you enjoy the soundscape of a local Mexican space landscape? Yeah, and especially this early in the morning. Hi, Allison. Wonderful. So, I'm just shuffling cards to get some deeper messages for our spirit guidance today. And then we'll get into the Reiki and Ancestral Clearing. Okay, we'll get one more. Oh, two more. Okay. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Devil, the Nine of Swords, and then the Four of Wands. Hi, Ree. I'm on the biggest lake in Mexico near Guadalajara. Actually, by the way, I am creating bespoke custom one-on-one retreats here with me. So if that's interesting to anybody, send me a private message. I'd love to share this with you and be in this space. And, you know, the elements would be deep dives into, you know, all the work that I do with my life coaching clients. It would be tailored and to the person. It would include, you know, breathwork, meditation, probably some cards, and some local experiences, you know, on the lake, probably an indigenous ceremony, something like that, and just being in this amazing town. This is very local Mexico, although it is also very much an expat center. It's the best of both worlds. So, hello, Cream. Yeah, feel free to introduce us. So, Seven of Pentacles signifies having planted seeds, nurturing what you've planted. So, in this energy of that things are just starting to bubble up to the surface. You don't have the full big plant, you don't have the harvest yet, but you've planted seeds, so you've done the work. Even my example from earlier of my recording my course and creating my at-home studio and, you know, all of the things around that. That's Seven of Pentacles energy, like the getting ready, the researching, the setting things up, the learning process. So you all, this week, those energies are at play here. And this is a time of patience as well. You know, it's just a small little tree right now, but look at how deep the roots are. Now the thing is, these energies of the devil and the Nine of Swords may crop up and try and keep you in your comfort zone or keep you from taking action. There may be fear. I mean, actually, these cards can be, this is a card of addiction, the devil. It could be, or it could be a toxic person or dynamic, and that might be a person you're addicted to. So it could be that. It could be typical addictions. And addiction to thinking, like, or maybe rumination and obsession about how things aren't the way you want them to be, if it's specific or general, or like your mind might be just arguing and arguing with reality. And, you know, it creates this nightmare energy. You know, she's got this pillow here, because in the traditional Nine of Swords image, it's like a nighttime nightmare energy, which you can see that here. So you get to be really mindful. You get to be really mindful and stay like present to your goal and what you're up to and the seeds that you've planted, and not allow your mind to take over and go here. And yeah, Sister Sunshine knows this card. Melanie binging shows. Totally. I've got that one too at times. Ooh, great, Nancy. So it's like this energy is like doing something out of your comfort zone, big and bold, working with your mindset so you don't sabotage yourself to stay in your comfort zone, not allowing the fear to dictate your actions. That's kind of what the other cards were talking about. And then also that energy of receiving, like also having periods of rest, being more mindful of rest for yourself this week, and being more mindful of allowing yourself to receive help and support. And I just have to say, like, everything that I'm talking about is what I do in my life coaching with clients. We look at, you know, where do you want to go? What's in the way of you creating that? And it's always this stuff is in the way of us creating what we want. You know, these mindsets and these old energies and habits keep us in the known and keep us safe. And so it's really good to have support and have, you know, somebody else to shine a light on the patterns, ask powerful questions, and be that support to help move through that. Because this is what's on the other side, this Four of Wands. Look at the celebration energy. This energy is totally different than these, right? And even it's totally different from this. This can also be a card of soulmate energy, of twin flame, if you're into all that. So if this is like romantic for you, like if this is a old dynamic, an old person, etc., you know, this could be that your soulmate's coming on the other side once you focus on yourself and plant, you know, those self-love seeds. Hi, Alyssa. Oh, wow, that's great. Hi, Bev. Good to see you. So some of you have heard me offer this, and it just is a perfect place to do so. If you've never had a session with me of any kind, I do offer this visioning process where we kind of look at everything that's coming up here that we're talking about, whatever that is specifically for you in your life. We take a broad overview, we get altitude on your life, look at where you're at now, look at where you want to go, what's in the way. And that's a gifted process for those in my Insight Timer community. If you've never had a session with me before, send me a private message. I've had a lot of requests, so do it before you forget so that you can take advantage of that. Great, Cream. Awesome. Hi, Drazel. Shalom. Perfect timing. So I feel like this is all about really slowing down, nurturing yourself, nurturing your process, nurturing what you're up to, not being in an energy of forcing and pushing and trying, having a balance between taking action and also resting and receiving. And actually a live stream that I'm doing next week, it's called Slowing Down to Speed Up. And this is exactly the sort of energy that I'm talking about, of like, yes, taking action, and sometimes the slowing down is the thing that will help you speed up and create the results that you desire. So, you know, the reading ends with this beautiful Four of Wands, energy of celebration. Yeah. And it's people celebrating together. So let's look at and see what the Four of Wands says in the Light Seers Tarot. And then we'll get into Reiki and clearing to close the session for today. So the overall energies are celebration, prosperity, an important event or milestone, gathering of souls, people coming together for a common goal, kindreds, stability in home and relationships, and sometimes signifies marriage. So where is the, okay. And then the affirmation for this card, I am devoted to connectedness. I am devoted to connectedness. So where can you have more connection in your life? Where can you bring more devotion or commitment to being connected to yourself first, by being in receiving mode, by tending to yourself, caring for yourself? And then where are you devoted to, you know, these sorts of energies of connection and not these? Let's see. If you've been going through massive growth lately, what plans do you have to pause and integrate the lessons? And actually, that is the exact energy of the topic I did, I think, on my very last live stream, or one I did last week, about the pause. So you can check in my YouTube channel, live replays, and see, and check that replay out if you've been in a pause and you're integrating and you're coming out the other side. And then the question is, what makes you feel totally at home? Who do you feel totally at home with? Just feel into that energy of being totally at home. That's great, Cream, that you felt it was amazing. I love hearing that. All right, so we are going to go ahead and dive into the energy healing part of the session. And I'm going to bring in, you know, some of the themes from this reading into the healing and the clearing. and as well as just, general channeling of that Reiki healing energy. And I will also use Solvana energy, which is a powerful transformative energy of new beginnings, awakenings, transformations, third eye expansion. So glad that you thought it was amazing too, Bev. And thank you all if you've joined, if you're, a regular here, if it's your first time, or if it's first time in a long time. So glad to have all of you. So let's go ahead and get into a receiving energy and receiving mode by closing the eyes. Taking some deeper, fuller breaths. Settling in and letting go. And just calling in our spiritual teams and activating the Reiki. And the Solvana energies. Relax, receive, trust, and allow right now. I will now do some silent ancestral clearing. To clear away old patterns, imprints, and beliefs that may no longer be serving you from this lifetime, any prior lifetimes, or anywhere in time or the lineage. just feel back into your body, into that receiving energy. Take a few fuller breaths, coming back to the body. You can slowly allow your eyes to open and just look around your space, integrate. Glad you're here, Melanie, for the first time. Butterfly rain, amazing. And what's great is that you had the presence to be this, hold the space for that to move through you. That's very powerful. Great work. This was a very powerful energy transmission today. We went very deep. And I do this work one-on-one as well. If you care to reach out for the details, you can send a message. And if you care to make a donation, here is the place you can do that, here inside the app. And thank you. Hi, Angela. Thank you, Nancy. And you can always donate. You don't have to wait for this card to pop up. There's a donate button, I think, just on the live screen. You can follow me as well if you haven't already and you care to. Thank you, Nancy, for the donation. And I do have, this is my next live stream, as I mentioned. You can RSVP. Even if you can't attend, that will help get more visibility in Insight Timer and would help me. And you know, you can watch it live here, watch the replay on YouTube, or watch the live over there as well. Follow me here, follow me there, Facebook, Instagram, check my website, send me a message, all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing on Tuesday, releasing what you were never meant to carry and stepping into your power. And you're welcome, Sister Sunshine. Glad to have you as always. And thank you, Butterfly Rain and J.E. And it came up in the healing to share this powerful abundance prayer. So it's an ancestral clearing prayer. The recording's infused with Reiki. This is in my premium tracks. So if you are looking to call more abundance into your life, you can listen to that like 10 times a day even. And I also, in my free tracks, have the Master Prayer, which is another ancestral clearing prayer. And I have just a number of free and premium guided meditations here. Yes, Angela, everything I do, unless there's a glitch or something, is in my YouTube channel. And so I have started, because the internet is very good here, not like in Asia. So I'm able to live stream in 2 places at once, here and over there. And so then when I end the live, it automatically in YouTube goes into the live. There's a tab or somewhere on my YouTube channel, there's a live replay tab. And so those are all there. You're welcome, Wendy. De nada, Drazel. So I will see you all on Tuesday. And if you feel the heart's call and you haven't had a session with me yet, I do offer, as availability allows, my gifted visioning session, which in the card reading it came up very clear, you know, the dynamics that I work with people in that process was in the reading. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're in a pause, if you feel like you're starting something new, you feel maybe blocked, you know, with the energies that we talked about here, with the devil, the Nine of Swords, nightmare energy, send me a message. Thank you, Sister Sunshine. Dawn, I will see you Tuesday, along with many of you, I'm sure. Evening in the Western Hemisphere, no. Now that I've moved back, like when I was living in Asia, everything was in the evening in the Western Hemisphere, and it was in the morning there. And now that I'm here, and I continue to do these in the morning, so now they're in the morning here. And also, it's interesting, and I appreciate you asking that, Butterfly Rain, because I was thinking to experiment. I'm going to just feel into the possibility of doing this in the evening. We'll see. But it's interesting you would say that, because that was on my mind as a possibility. You know, my mind is sharp in the morning, and especially with this deep guidance and the intuition, you know, it does not work being tired. It does not work if I'm not, you know, in full energy, or basically just not late and tired. So we'll see. And, you know, you can watch the replays if the time isn't good. So, okay. Well, everybody have a wonderful Sunday wherever you are in the world. Appreciate you joining as always. Bring your friends, bring your family. I know we've got some wonderful family connections here in the community and the live streams, and love seeing that. And I will see you very soon. Much love. Namaste.